Welcome to Salient Training's Job Aid videos. In this segment, we're going to cover the basics of security certificates and how to use them to set up secure communications between your management server and recording servers using Transport Layer Security, or TLS. TLS is a cryptographic protocol requiring a signed certificate that provides end-to-end security of data sent between your client, the management server, and the recording servers. TLS does not encrypt the video sent from your cameras to your recording server, but it does encrypt the live view video sent from your recording server to your clients. So let's get started. Before we dive into the process, here's some background on security certificate basics that may help you to decide how to proceed with securing your complete view deployment. When you enable secure communication for your deployment, there are two types of certificates that you'll work with. Single SSL certificates, which work on individual servers, or wildcard SSL certificates, which work for many servers. In general, security certificates allow you to change your protocol from unsecured HTTP to secured HTTPS through the use of an authentication handshake between two communicating devices that ensure that both devices are who they claim to be. In the case of Complete View, that handshake takes place between the management server and your recording servers. Now, single certificates are issued to protect a single server. For example, if you purchase a certificate for the hostname server1.salientsys.com, it will not work to secure server2.salientsys.com. A single certificate is specific to each server's hostname. So you'll need separate certificates for your Complete View management server and for each and every recording server in your deployment. On the other hand, if you choose to use a wildcard certificate, things work a bit differently. This type of certificate contains a wildcard in the hostname field. The wildcard is usually displayed as an asterisk or star and allows the certificate to secure multiple hosts belonging to the same root domain. For example, a certificate for star.salientsys.com can be used to secure server1.salientsys.com, server2.salientsys.com, server3, and so on for any host name that is in the same domain. While you can choose either type of certificate, single certificates will probably work fine for small Complete View deployments consisting of a few servers. But for larger deployments with a lot of servers, consider using a wildcard. Now, let's get into how you set this up in Complete View. To begin the process, you'll need to decide if you're using a single or a wildcard certificate. Then, request the certificate from a signing authority. If you're using a single certificate, you'll need to provide the fully qualified domain name of your management server to the signing authority. The FQDN contains the host name of the server and the domain to which it belongs. Server1.salientsys.com is an example of the correct FQDN format. If you're using a wildcard, all you'll need to do is provide the signing authority with the root domain that you're using. Now, when you request this certificate, it must be a PFX file for the management server. A PFX file is a digital certificate that stores your private key and a corresponding public key. These files are usually password protected to prevent unauthorized access to the private key. Recording servers are different. They use a PEM file format and not a PFX like the management server. With some of these certificate basics out of the way, let's move on to the process. Once you have your PFX certificate, log into your management server through the desktop client with admin credentials, then select the Configure module, and in the navigation panel, you want to make sure that you're on Common Settings and you want to select Security. In the Security window, just make sure you're on Certificates. Down in the bottom of that window, you'll see a pop-up for Manage Certificates. This is where you're going to upload your PFX file. Select the Browse icon, and then locate your certificate. I'm using a wildcard. I'm going to select that certificate, choose Open, and since it's a PFX, I have to put a password in, so I'm going to put that password in. Once it's there, I'll upload it, and then my certificate is present. Next step is I'm going to enable this certificate and then save the configuration. Once I do that, this is going to log me out. Once you've been logged out, you're going to need to log in again, but this time make sure that in your management server address you have the fully qualified domain name of your management server. You want to select TLS, and that's going to change your port to 8096. Once that's done, select Login. Now you can move on to your recording servers. For demonstration purposes, I'm only adding a certificate for a single recording server, but the steps I cover will be used for every recording server in your deployment. If you're using TLS encryption, you must have certificates for all of your recording servers. You can't have a mixed deployment with secure and unsecured servers together. So to start, enter Configure, locate your recording server in the recording server section of the menu, select the Settings option, and then go to the Security settings. In there, you're on Certificates, and you want to select the Manage Certificates, and you need to create a certificate signing request. Go ahead and fill out this form with your information relevant to your deployment. Everything has to be completed, though. And when you get down to the common name, this is the recording server's fully qualified domain name. Make sure that that's accurate. Mine is training-rs.salientsys.com. Once you've got everything filled out, create your certificate signing request. Save that to a location on your desktop or anywhere else. I'm going to put it in this CSR folder. Give it a name. I'll just use the same common name that I used for the server. And then you'll submit that CSR either to the IT department of your company or to the signing authority that you're choosing to use. You have to request a PEM file, and you're going to wait for that file to come back. Once that PEM file has been returned to you, log back into your management server, select the recording server, and go to that Security tab again under the Settings. And then you're going to enter in a friendly name. Now this name is going to be used to identify this certificate. And I'm just going to put in the name of my recording server, rs-01. Once I've got that, I want to complete my certificate signing request. Select that option, and then navigate to the location where you save that PEM file. You can see mine right here. I'm using a Wildcard Cert. I select it, choose Open, and you'll see it appear up in my certificates list. I want to enable that new certificate, and then whatever the minimum TLS version that I'm going to use, make sure you set that. And once that's done, save that configuration. Now we're on to the final step for setting up secure communication. Look in the recording server section of your nav panel and click on the name of the recording server you just added this certificate to. That's going to open up the Edit Server screen. Locate the Connection Info tab, and in here we're going to look for three different things. First, the host. You need to change the IP address to the fully qualified domain name of that recording server. Next, you'll use the Ports drop-down and select the Secure TCP port. And then finally, down below the password, put a check mark in the Use TLS box. Once those three are done, select Reconnect, and then push a save to that recording server to make sure that certificate is in use. And that's all there is to it. When you see the green light, everything is good. Now you'll have to follow these steps for every recording server in your deployment. You can't have one server with a certificate and the others without. So make sure you follow those, but that's the process for setting up secure TLS communications. If you found this video helpful, follow us for more job aid and user training videos. If you have an idea for a future video, let us know by sending an email to training@salientsys.com. Thanks for watching.